Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to another live edition of Mafia Roundtable with Dominic Cicali. Like I said earlier, today's topics we're going to be talking about the Lucchese crime boss Vic Amuso, his sidekick Anthony Casso, gas pipe, and Oscar Ansorian. Not that many people knew about Oscar Ansorian. He was an Armenian, very, very dangerous guy. But looking at him, his appearance, his personality, you would never even know it. But before I go into that, I would like everybody who ever likes drinking vodka, please go to egvodka.com. You'll be able to order in 44 states in the next week or two. We signed the contracts, so we'll be able to distribute in 44 states. We're going to have a subscription program for our subs on the channel. Put in a code, get a base price, really cheap. We're doing the right thing. We're going to give back. So go to egvodka.com, 100% organic, gluten-free. It's people, when I tell you it's the best vodka out there. Also, we have Demand Shot. Go to demandshot.com. Any form of erectile dysfunction for you guys. Even if you're still getting the erection, but it's not as hard as it once was when you were a kid, trust me, I know. I tried it and I felt like I was 18 years old again. So we already had over 300 people who go to the website, check it out. Everything's confidential. I don't even know who they are. It's between the people that go on and the doctor. So that's it. Everything's confidential. But I know the numbers because I have access to that. And that's what I was told. So, but go there. Everything's discreet. Feel young. Feel vibrant again. Satisfy your woman the way she should be satisfied. So with all that, I just want to thank everybody for all the love, support, comments. And also I'm going to address just one little issue regarding Sammy the Bull Gravano. A lot of people think it's staged. People, it's not staged. I would never do that to you people. I don't have to pull the game of smoke and mirrors. It's just not my style. Never was. I'm really, even though you heard a lot of anger come out me, I'm hurt because, you know, there's only a few of us that I would say, let's stick together. We could all, as one, have a powerhouse platform. And just to undermine and do grimy things, it's just not my style, never was, even till this day. That's why I have so many friends from my past life that contact me, in touch with me, telling me, Dom, at first I was mad. I didn't want to talk to you. I was upset. I was more hurt than anything. But I understand why you did what you did. And even one individual, I told him, well, I look at myself, I ratted. I'm a rat. I keep it real. I took the coward way out. And the guy turned around and told me, stop saying that. If I was there, I'd fucking punch you right in the mouth. Stop it. Like, they get offended when I say that. They know my character. But I keep it real. I have no reason to bullshit. And the beef that went on with Sammy and myself, there's a beef. There's a beef there. And I don't know, maybe one day it could be rectified. And I'm always open. Like I said, I give everybody chances in life. But I'm not going to be abused or taken advantage by anyone out there. That'll never happen. Never was like that. Never will be. So, and it's just a sad day. Here you have somebody who's saying he's the pod father. Men don't even have a damn shower where he's living. He has to go to a gym to shower. So, you know, and there's a lot more stuff, folks, I could come out with. But hopefully he knows to keep his mouth shut. And we'll just leave it at that. So, and yes, there was a comment about Anthony Ruggiano that he did table in the back and let him put it out there. And there's also comments like, wow, he put it out there, 50-something thousand views in a day. So I read between the lines, and I'm sure everybody else could. All of a sudden now he has an explosion of views. So I know Sammy's antics, and that's all right. But you know what? Dominic Cicali cannot be bought. That's for sure. Or is not going to be dictated who I could talk to, who I can't speak to, or you're going to threaten me, kicking me out of your imaginary circle. I could care less. I could care less. I basically compromised my integrity one time in my life, and that was the day I became a government informant, a rat. That's when I compromised my integrity. I'll never do it again. And that's it. It just is what it is. Again. So we'll go back into this story. And also, there's a Colombo guy up there in the ranks, always low-keyed powerhouse, tremendous earner, who was supplying Gas Pipe, Vic Amuso, and Little Oscar with their marijuana. But let's go. Back in the day, the Lucchese crime family, they were a powerhouse. They were dangerous, extremely dangerous. Big earners, and they wouldn't take shit from anybody. So, and with that, on the streets, you gain respect. Just out of fear alone, people start respecting. Now, when I was on the streets, after Joe Gambino got smacked by the Albanians, he's a Lucchese soldier, kicked out of his club, a lot of respect was lost. When Joey Relay, Michael Knows, went with his wife while he was in jail, Joey Relay came home, didn't do shit. Again, losing respect. So there's a lot. Maddie Madonna, another one, loudmouth, like she yelling at women, lost respect. So everything that Vic Amuso and Gas Pipe built up, the future administrations and people destroyed, knocked it down. And that happens with all the families. Look at the Bonanno family, the Colombo family, same thing. So they were a powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with. So, and when I went to Lewisburg, a guy, Tommy Faris, who was married to Allie Boy Persico's daughter, Susan. At the time, I met him in MCC Miami, which was a holding facility, when I was fighting my drug case. And I mentioned this story once before. I'm in the unit. He hears the last name, and I'm just going to give a brief synopsis of it. He pulls me over. He says, "Hey, you know Adani Sakali?" I says, "Yeah, it's my father. Why?" And I went a little aggressive. He says, No. I know your father." I said, "From where?" So I think he said Attica, Greenhaven, a state joint in New York. Back in the 70s, my father did 9.5 years. Tommy did time up there. Tommy was originally from Boston. So I get on the phone with my father. I said, "Dad, somebody wants to talk to you." So they're talking, maybe for about 10 minutes. I get the phone. So Tommy says, "Come on, you smoke cigars?" I said, "Yeah." So we walked out to the rec yard. And as we're walking the track smoking cigars, he said, "You must be real wild." Why? Because your father told me about 8 to 10 times, "Please watch my son. Please watch him. Make sure he stays calm. Make sure he stays calm." I said, "No, I just don't take shit from anybody, and I'll react quick." So with that, my father told me, "Dom, stay close to Tommy. He's a tremendous earner, big earner." And we had a nice little relationship. So when I was heading up to Lewisburg, when I found guilty at trial, I'm heading up to Lewisburg. So Tommy says, "Let me see who I have up there that I know that could look out for you." And he said, "Ask for Little Oscar." Okay. I send word, Little Oscar. When I get there, he had a big package for me, clothes and sweat, just everything, food. And that's the way people look out, especially when you come into a new institution, you don't have anything but the clothes you're wearing. So with that, I get close to Oscar. I got so close to Oscar and Oscar was a funny bastard. Let me describe him to you. He was maybe about 5'5" on a good day. And I hate to say this, he reminded me, he wasn't a good looking guy. Very funny, very personable, always helping everybody. Big heart, tremendous. But yet, he had another side to him. He was extremely dangerous. He did a lot of work back in the day with Vic and Gas Pipe. And I'll go into that later on in the story. But Oscar and I built a relationship. We're playing cards every night, a game called Klabiash. And it's just him and I in the cell. We're talking, we're eating, we're joking. I mean, a lot of laughs. He got so comfortable with me that he turned around and says, "Dom, I have to tell you something. It's been bothering me." I said, "What is it, Oscar?" He says, I know Tommy's your guy." I says, "Yeah, no, Tommy's a great guy." And he knew the story. He says, "But I hate to tell you, when I heard you were coming here, I said, oh my fucking God. Like, why am I getting somebody here? This guy's probably going to be an asshole, meaning me. I said, why would you say that? He said, because I didn't like Tommy. So he never liked Tommy. He felt Tommy was too flamboyant, too whatever the case may be. But I liked Tommy. I thought Tommy was a great guy. So, but he did a lot of business with Tommy. Now, back in the day, and I'm telling the story because Tommy already did time for this. And he's out there now. I think he's a consigliere of the Colombo crime family right now. I think he got arrested maybe a year ago with over $100 million Medicaid scam, billing in Florida, whatever the case may be. But at that time, Tommy had tankers. Tommy had a bank in the Cayman Islands. He owned his bank. He had a place called Joseph's. If everybody knows, back in the day, back in Fort Lauderdale, there was a place on the Intercoastal called Joseph's. Before that, it was called the Bar. The Bar or the Barge? I think, or the Bridge. I'm sorry, the Bridge. That was Tommy's joint. He had a thoroughbred horse farm in Ocala. He had parts of production studios in L.A., California, which we all know the Colombos, they have a lot of connections with the filming industry. But Tommy was a big earner, tremendous. He had a bunch of strip clubs in Florida, so he's a powerhouse in himself financially. And so Oscar tells me Tommy had these big tankers that would bring sugar, rice, all different commodities back and forth into the States, out of the States. And they would transport weed. I mean, he'd load it up with weed, thousands and thousands of pounds. And Oscar would tell me, once the tanker would go to the port, him, Vic, and Gas Pipe with a bunch of guys, they would go and unload everything into big trucks. I'm not sure if they were tractor trailers or mini trailers, but they would constantly load all the weed, and they would take all Tommy's weed. And Tommy even told me when he got busted and DEA came to search the tankers, they found nothing. All they found, from what Tommy had told me, was one seed, one marijuana seed. And of course, that justified them, I guess, going to trial. I don't know if he went to trial, took a plea, but that was the case. That's what Tommy was telling me. So now Oscar told me when they would pick it up, like, it was just ridiculous, all the weed they were getting. And Tommy was their direct connect. But he said, Dom, we were bringing barges of stuff, and Tommy owned the freight company. So they had a good operation going. And back in the day, you could get away with a lot more than you can today. So they were notorious for that. Also, was sitting in the cell. So Oscar's sharing a lot of different stories with me. There was a guy in my neighborhood. His name was Bobby Heartburn. That, I don't know if that was his real name, but that's how I was known. We knew him. Now, when I was younger, Oscar asked me if I knew him. I said, yeah. He used to box. I think, too, at one time, he was a professional boxer. But I was younger. I might have been 12, 13, or 16, around that age. And I remember him because he was punch drunk. He used to walk like shaking his head like, punch drunk. But he was a big guy. I mean, massive hands. He had to stand maybe 6'2", 6'4". And to me, being younger, he looked even bigger. As opposed to now, maybe if I see him, I'm like, oh, the guy's not that big. But big guy. And you could tell he had that busted up nose, that face. But, he looked like, you look at him like one of those rock'em sock'em robots. Solid. Like, this guy could handle himself. And it was funny because I was under the impression, he was punch drunk. But what had happened, when Oscar was on the street, I guess he had an altercation with Bobby, and Bobby put his hands on him. And of course, Oscar didn't win the altercation, but let me tell you something, Oscar was extremely dangerous. Afterwards, Oscar was trying to get a line on him to take him out. Lo and behold, Oscar's in jail. Vic and Gas Pipe are out there. And Oscar tells me, yeah, no, I'm talking to them, and I got word. Hey! Oh, hi. Yeah, we're filming. So Oscar turns around and tells me, hey, Dom, You remember that guy Bobby? I said, yeah, yeah. Well, one day he's trying on a sports coat. He's, and they could see him. I think it was Vic who spotted him first, calls up Gas. Gas came, and they wound up blasting him with a shotgun. So they said, hey, buddy, your friend was trying a sports coat on. I don't think he'll be walking around with it, indicating they just took him out. But meanwhile, he survived the shotgun blast. But they were a dangerous crew. And even there was a hit. I think Gas Pipe tried taking out a guy, Nicky Guido. And with Nicky Guido, they went to shoot. And I think the guy lived. I'm not sure he lived or died. That Nicky Guido they shot was the wrong Nicky Guido. Lo and behold, we're in the unit, and Oscar told me, he says, hey, you see the guy Nicky Guido? And this is why his story came up. He was supposed to be dead, but Gas Pipe shot the wrong Nicky Guido. I said, oh. And Oscar was this treacherous and this loyal to the life that he sent out a code to Gas Pipe, you want me to take care of it. And Oscar, if Gas Pipe would have sent word, go ahead, he would have killed him in there. Oscar would definitely made a move on him. But Gas told him, no, leave it alone. And a lot of people don't know this, too. When they were banging around out there, Gas Pipe did a lot of cocaine, partying. And when Oscar would be communicating with Vic, he'd be like, hey, where's Gas? I don't know. He's probably with Shirley. And Shirley was a code word for he's probably sniffing coke again. Because he would sniff, paranoid, curtains in the house, shut everything, and just be wired out of his mind. So these are things that, the way people acted out there in the streets. But they were definitely a group you wouldn't want to reckon with. And then even Oscar, too. I mean, you see the guy. He was just a great guy. He wound up catching another case. He was home released, caught a case for trying to buy a rocket launcher, which who the hell knows what he was going to do with that. But while he was in jail, I think it was in Allenwood FCI, I heard he was walking, going to the dining hall, and he dropped. He had a massive heart attack and died. And really, I was heartbroken with that. Great guy. I never had the opportunity to hang with him on the streets because I was home when I was locked up. He got out, and then he came back. I went out, so we always missed each other. But great guy, wonderful guy, personality larger than life. And if he was Italian, he would have definitely been Vic's acting boss, no doubt. Even when we were away, every Christmas, he would get 2 boxes, shoe boxes. One would be with 20s and 50s, and the other shoebox would be all hundreds. So it would be, and Oscar said they would send about $250,000 to $500,000 every Christmas just to take care of Oscar and his family. Now that's what the life was about. Looking after one another, helping one another. And these are stories when I was in the penitentiary. You're hearing guys like Oscar. That's what lures you into that life, that camaraderie, just people being there for one another. Yet, that's far few in between, folks. And, everybody nowadays is out for themselves. So it is what it is. But hope everybody enjoyed the story. Any comments? We're open now. Take comments. We're short-staffed. So, Carrie, try to do your best. And Wilfredo, you two wake up. You're sleeping.
I'm reading.
All right. Stephen Codes. Hi, Dom. Did you see Richie Canatella? Just did an interview on YouTube.
That's Cantarelli. Excuse him. He doesn't know. Yeah. But yes, I heard some of the interview, but I ain't go into too much of it as far as what he had to say. But from the stuff I did hear, he spoke well. And, nobody ever said he was definitely a sharp guy, Richie. That's for sure.
Chrissy's. Dom, please address Sammy giving Anthony the friendly treatment.
And again, I'll keep it real. I think I know it's to stick it up my ass because it made no sense because Sammy had told me he would put my stuff out on YouTube, yet he puts me behind his paid wall and then he takes Anthony's stuff and gives it to Anthony to put out. But you know what? If it helps Anthony, more power to you, Anthony. Wish you the most success in this genre. Just keep it real. But I'm starting to hear a lot of things, especially from the Lee Cole and James Proctor show, that Anthony, it seems like you're starting to fabricate things. So I would keep it real, just my opinion. And, you seem like a nice guy. Just more power to you, brother.
From Big G. Dom, do you have any stories with the Di Cavalente?
Cavalcante?
Yeah, thank you.
No, not really. But we do have stories with guys in Jersey, so we'll go into that at a later date. Wilfredo, anything?
I'll let you know in a second.
They're
I know
going
they're
fast.
flying through. How many people we got?
278.
Okay.
Hey, Dom, do you know the hitman Frankie Pasquale?
No, I never had the opportunity to meet him. I heard the guy's a little off-centered, but I heard he's an extremely dangerous guy as well. He doesn't take shit, and he's a powerhouse with his hands.
All right, this is a good one. AJS. Hey, Dom, when are you going to go drop some freestyle?
Oh,
We haven't heard that in a while.
I know. Well,
Start today, I mean.
okay, Carrie.
That's also
We'll
some-
drop something soon.
Okay. Soon, like today?
Soon. No, not today, Carrie. Not today.
Dean Justice just gave a donation. Hey, Dom,
Thank you, Gene. Appreciate the donation.
My son just got married last weekend. Can I get a shout out for Anthony and Sophia Paterno?
Anthony and Sophia Paterno, well, thank you. We want to thank you. Well, thank you. We wish you the very best in your marriage. Much success. Also, you have to understand, marriage is a very difficult thing. Even myself, I'm still learning every day, trying to grow, try to better myself in my marriage, but nobody's perfect in life. As long as you put that effort in and continuously, it's just about respect, mutual respect to one another. And sometimes people cross that line out of frustration, maybe out of anger, out of stupidity. But, at the end of the day, try to make it work. And if your partner has your back, they'll make it work as well. And it's about forgiving, moving on, and just trying to have a good relationship. But marriage is a difficult union. But if you can work out the little bullshits of every day, bickering, it could be very fruitful. Good, Carrie. I see you smirking. Carrie's thing of a marriage. Dom, I don't want girlfriends. I'd rather date, give somebody a few dollars, take them shopping, and then I have no headache. That's Carrie's motto, but, it works for him. Everybody's different in life.
I think there's a way in a relationship that you can grow. You need to learn how to fight in a relationship correctly, where you don't go in for
Carrie,
the kill every day.
there's no fighting correctly. This is not Wally World. So,
Alfredo, you have anything?
Carrie, could you
Dom.
open up that door, please, so I can get a little air? It's hot in here.
I have one here. It says, "Hey Dom, what do you think of Merlino coming up with a podcast?"
What do I think of Molino coming up with a podcast? I think it just shows how weak the mafia has become. For a boss of alleged boss of the Philly crime family. Maddie, you could just shut the door. I apologize if you don't mind. I think it's not a good look, but to each his own. If that's what he wants to do, so be it. But it's just weakening the mafia, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys who are dedicated to that life. Is basically going to say, stay away from this guy. He's shelved. We don't recognize him. And so be it. It might be better off for Joey. So good move, Joe. Hope you may become successful with your endeavors and wish you the best.
Hey, Dom, how much do you think Sammy paid to Ruggiano? Oh.
Sammy didn't pay him anything. I don't think Sammy has a good line of bullshit. So whatever happened. And I think Sammy did it to stick it up my ass even more so, to put it in my face. Because that's not Sammy's character, to give Ruggiano his production tape and then for Ruggiano to put it out there. The only thing I question, I'm not even going to throw it out there. So it is what it is. So I wish Anthony the best, and Sammy could go fuck himself. Go ahead.
Dom, have you watched Top Boy, UK crime show that just dropped another season?
No, I haven't. What was that again? What crime show?
Top Boy.
Top Boy. No, I haven't seen it. Maddie, anything?
They're just going back and forth. Merlino is retired, no?
There is no retiring from the mafia. Like John Gotti Jr. tried saying, I'm not part of it. I'm part. It's the most ridiculous things I've heard in my life. But you know what? If they walk away from it, which I see people are doing nowadays, more power to them. They're taking the smart way out. So I don't blame them. If Molino wants to say he's retired, he's no longer part of that life, and he's walking down the right path, more power to him, Joey. And I wish you the best. Stay on that righteous path.
Hey, Dom, who was the crew that used to hang out in the cafe next door to Sereno's Pizza on Williamsburg Road?
What's that?
Sereno's Pizza?
Okay.
Who was the crowd?
Who was the crowd?
The crew. Sorry.
I really don't know. It might have been maybe Dennis DeLucia, Michael Uvino. So I know they were from that Williamsburg area. Could have been also Hippie, Sal Larka. That was all their stomping grounds. Mine was basically Pelham Bay and Throg's Neck.
Dean, another donation.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks for shout out to my son and daughter-in-law. Do you think if John Gotti and Sammy didn't go to jail, would Sammy try to take out John?
Oh, good question. I think John would have took out Sammy. Definitely took out Sammy. I don't think Sammy was sharp enough to take out John. So it's just my opinion. And, that's just the way it is. But who knows? Hindsight's everything.
Hey, Dominic, with Alphonse Trucchio.
Okay.
Did I butcher it?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Being shoved by the Gambinos. Any chance that he can come off? And if so, he buy his way back in? Thanks.
It depends who's in power. You know, you have different people. They feel differently about other things. Even like myself, when I was arrested, I mean, the first 2 months, Michael Mancuso, who was the acting boss of the Bonanos, turned around and sent word in there, tell Dominic he has nothing coming. Now, I'm looking at the death penalty because of you, Michael, and the Bonanno crime family. You're going to send a message like that I have nothing coming? And that was one of his biggest mistakes. That just shows what a buffoon he was. But say if, so basically, he's disregarding me. So say Vinny would have got out on bail. Now Vinny's running the show, and I'm in good graces. Dominic's going to get everything he has coming. So it depends who's in power, who likes who, basically. That's just the way it works.
I have one here that says, hey Dom, how much money would it take for you to do an exhibition boxing match? For example, you versus John Gotti III.
Listen, I'm too old, so, but I don't know. But I would definitely take a challenge on. I'll probably get my ass kicked, but I'll go. It would just have to be boxing with the hands, no feet. I'm lucky if I could run these days, but I would definitely do it. But I would need time to get into boxing shape. Okay, next. Anything? Maddie?
Dom, were you married to your current wife with her while you were in the mafia, or did you meet her after? If so, how was it for her when you cooperated? Did she ever meet Vinny?
We'll start backwards. No, she never met Vinny. And no, actually, when I came home, I was looking to acquire an insurance company. And while I was there, I was monitoring what was coming in, the daily operation of the insurance company. So I asked the owner, how could we build up the book of business? So, my wife worked for Telemundo, which is a Hispanic TV station. And he said, I used to advertise with them, called up my wife, and I met my wife at, a location. We spoke about business, how to enhance the insurance company. And then maybe the next hour and a half, we were just talking about ourselves, our lives. And then lo and behold, I had asked her. Now at this time I was on home confinement, just got released, went to the halfway house, and then home confinement. So my curfew, I think, was like at 8 o'clock. I had to be home every night. So I would ask her, hey, you want to meet up? We'll go for dinner, go over everything. Let's meet about 5:30. And she would tell me, no, I'm training my dogs. And I'd be, training your dogs? So yeah, you mind, like, training? You're saying no, no, no. So she'd say, what about later on? And I would say no. So here she's thinking I had a family on the side, just being a player. So lo and behold, she invites me to the park with the dog, so she was in training to show me. And then we finally met up one night and with my partner, and he's looking at some girl. She said, hey, Tim, you're looking at this girl's tits. Why don't you go home to your family? And because you're wasting my time. So with that, after about 5 minutes, he gets up and leaves. Then my wife and I are talking. I said, listen, correct me if I'm wrong. There's an attraction here. So she says, no, there is. All right, I'm going to play it straight with you then. I'd rather you think with your mind than your heart. And I broke it down about my life. And she turned around and she says, that's okay. I appreciate that. But, everybody deserves a second chance. And then after that, the rest is history. So.
DL says, what kind of risks is Joey taking to do a podcast and not having immunity?
Well, I don't think he's going to be talking about any crimes, but God forbid he slips up, he's screwed with what he says. So just I give him advice, Joe, be careful with your wording, what you're going to say. And if you're taking bets, just make sure everything's legal, especially nowadays. Register it, file for whatever licensing you need, and just do everything, cross your T's, dot your I's, and be careful what comes out of your mouth.
Michael Carucci,
And wait, one more, I'm sorry. And Joey, also, I'd advise you put a disclaimer up there that whatever you talk about is just your opinion, and keep it like that.
Michael Carucci, do you know Vinny Bionics from the Chili Crew?
No, I never met him. I don't think I ever met him. No. I heard a lot about him, but I don't recall things right now.
What do you think of Macuso? I hope I didn't mess that one.
Mancuso, that's all right, Gary.
Being convicted and going to jail for a year.
Hey, to each his own. I think he's a moron. In my opinion, he couldn't. Listen, I was on supervised release when I was in the life for 4 years. I was bouncing around with Vinny, Bruno, all different guys, and was never violated, never seen, meeting somebody. I was always that precautious. And this time I turned my life around, so that was another 5 years, but I wasn't meeting anybody, so it didn't matter. But in the previous time, I think that's just Mancuso being lazy, sloppy, and, going to engagements just to put out his chest, puff it out. That's all what Michael's about. Let me puff my chest out. And he has that arrogant, smug look about him that really, it's just disgusting. He's in way over his head, and maybe somebody will step up and take the reins of the Bonanno crime family while this buffoon's away. Next.
Michael Carucci, do you know Big Mike?
Big Mike, no, I'm not sure who we're talking about.
Okay. Stephen Code says, I would like to mention Sammy also said Frankie Locke agreed to kill John while they were in prison, putting Frankie's life in danger for no reason.
Frankie Locke. Yeah, well, that's Sammy. I can't speak for everybody, but I could tell you this. There is no excuse. Sammy now fabricated a story that the reason why he cooperated was because John wanted him to be the scapegoat in the case. Sammy, just tell the truth. Stop with the nonsense. That wasn't part of your testimony. You cooperated because you were facing life in prison. And you knew you were buried because of John speaking on the tapes about you killing everybody. So stop it, Sammy. That's the reason why you took the coward way out, like I did, same thing, We all did. Everybody who cooperated took the coward way out. Can't deny that. You're a rat, and that's it. That's all there is to it. You're not a gangster. If you were a gangster, you would have never ratted.
Brucey says Sammy said he had never met Fat Andy. What do you think of that? Ruggiano said Sammy was a good friend of his father's.
I don't know for a fact, but I can tell you this. I was with Fat Andy in Allenwood, and nobody had a nice word to say about Sammy. Now, and I heard people talk about, well, this guy ratted, but you know what? He was a good guy. I liked him, but fuck, why did he rat? Never heard that about Sammy. Everybody had something bad to say about him. The only person who said was actually liked Sammy was Danny Farmer. He liked him from the boxing time, being in the gym and Gleason's, and you know that's where they had their relationship. But even Ruggiano, he's talking about. I heard him say that he knew when Mikey's scars got straightened out, they told him this immediately. He's a friend, folks. Especially back then, when it was more secretive. Ruggiano was never straightened out. So no, a made guy's not going to tell you who's getting straightened out. Especially you were there. Stop with the fabrications. Please, stop it.
Darren, isn't Ronnie One Arm doing life? So what if he's shelved?
No, they weren't talking about Ronnie One Arm. They were talking about Ronnie's son, Al. So, and Ronnie One Arm, listen, I was with him in MDC Brooklyn. The holding facility. Seemed like a real nice guy, but on the street he was a partier, dangerous guy, had a bad reputation. But again, he's doing what he had to do. He's true to the life, and I give him his props for that. Any other? No?
Yeah.
Mancuso is going into the same place as Ronnie G. How will he be received? Sorry.
Oh, if he's going in the same place, he's going to be received well. And where is Ronnie G? So see if they answer back. Please let me know where Ronnie G is. Is he in Fort Dix? That's in New Jersey, folks.
Did you hear Sammy's producer, Anna, inferences about you on their show?
No, I just heard her say it was disgusting. She couldn't listen. And I think Anna needs to keep her comments to herself because Anna has no clue about the life. And Anna's the one who called up, and I'm not even going to say because, you know what? When Sammy was doing an interview with somebody, they wound up calling Sammy a rat. And right away she said, why are you calling him a rat? He's a government witness. He's a cooperator. No, he's a rat. Keep it real. So Anna, stop sticking up for this guy. And please, be a woman. Mind your business. Stay out of the mafia stuff. And do your producing for him. And stop. Because if you want to start talking, I could start talking about you with a lot of things why Deborah, Sammy's ex-wife, doesn't like you. So don't even go there, Anna.
Allenwood. Allenwood.
Oh, he's going to Allenwood?
Yeah.
Okay. Ronnie will, what's Ronnie going to do? He's going to look out for Michael, and Michael will feel like a king up there. So, that's if they put them in the same institution. Allenwood, you have, I think, the camp. You have an FCI, a low institution. You have the FCI, and you have the penitentiary. So more than likely, Mancuso will be going to the low institution.
Yeah.
And I think Ronnie should be in the FCI. So, or if they're in the same institution, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up.
Well, Xavier says even Mikey Scars that doesn't like Sammy said Sammy could have taken John out.
Anybody could take anybody out. So that happens, But I don't think John had too many people around him. John was feared and well liked at the same time. Everybody looked at Gotti as a god, especially with the Castellano hit. It was mostly Gotti. And then everybody looked at Sammy. They feared Sammy, but nobody trusted Sammy. Because Sammy had the reputation, he'll kill you and take what you have. So, that's a call. But anybody could be taken out at any given time, that's for sure, in the life. So, but I would have my money on John Gotti.
Nicholas, do you think Casso would have ever got Lino on his own without the mafia cops? Lino never did the same thing twice, always changing up.
Probably not. But, Casso was, you know what? You got to give it to Casso. All to buy, I think, 37 homicides. And he did most of them himself. He pulled the trigger. Just like Vinny. Vinny had over a dozen homicides. Pulled the trigger on every one except the last few. So.
Sumpao Bosques. Dom, I was in the life. I met you once. You have put some muscle on since back in the day. Congrats on your new life.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And if you want, DM me on Instagram. We could go back and forth. I'll keep everything, of course, the identity private, so I respect everybody out there. And there's a lot of people, too, who's part of the Mancuso hit when I was looking to take out Mikey Mancuso. And I didn't expose them, so I would never put them in jeopardy. And I love these guys. But it is what it is. And thank you again. I'm trying just keep my life focused, be straight. And then we'll just keep kids, hopefully, geared up for the right direction. Hopefully somebody out there will listen.
Hey, Dom, what do you think's going to happen to the guy who took out Frank Cali? He was the boss, but the kid who whacked him got away with it.
I don't know who got away with it. From my understanding, he's doing time. So I don't think anything's going to happen because I think the kid was half crocked, wasn't dealing with a full deck. But, I don't think anybody's going to do anything, to be honest.
Anthony Agrillo, Dom, any dealings with Peter Rosa?
Petey Rosa, no. Not off the top of my head.
Hey, Dom, have you dealt with wise guys from the Devacante family?
They asked that.
Yeah, he's just keep asking.
Oh, okay. No, not off the top of my head. I'm sure there might have been a few, but there's a lot of guys we dealt with. Actually, some of my friends, too, that I talked to from the Bronx, different areas, Jersey. It's like, Dom, do you remember this? You remember that? And I'm like, no. Damn, you have amnesia. And they would go through stories and they'll be like, oh, yeah. So there was a lot. I mean, I was running and gunning. That's for sure.
So the same guy, Sumpao, said, not sure if you ever hung out with my paps, John Brody.
No, I don't think so. Heard of him, but no. I don't think we ever met or hung out.
Tony Handsome. Dom, what other crime groups did you deal with in the drug game?
Crime groups. Actually, there was a lot of individuals. Whoever was straight up. I know one time when I started getting involved with the heroin, I got my heroin from Ralphie Giordano. He owned Giordano's funeral homes. He wound up cooperating too. And I was getting my heroin from him. And I went by Eastchester Road, there was a Hispanic group. So I went to the after hours. I had a pistol on me. Went in there. And I just felt uncomfortable, but I made it known. I made sure they could see I had a gun on me. And then afterwards, when I went out, next day, somebody contacted me, Dom, these guys were looking to rob you, kill you, take you out. So I said, oh, yeah. And then after I went looking for them and couldn't find them, couldn't get a lead on them. I didn't look that hard, but I guess they were told, like, wow, you would have fucked up big time trying to take him. And that was it.
So Xavier James made the comment, now all of a sudden everybody who Dom was with had something bad to say about Sammy.
You know what? I can't answer that. I feel bad that I had to go to that level. And I still have the lawyers looking to file something legally. Sammy, that's dirty what he did to me. And I didn't want to come out with that. I didn't want the negativity. But this is my way of getting back. Back in the old days, Sammy would have had a fucking headache. He's not the only killer in this world back in their life. I hear his stories. He had a lot of people, but we had a lot of people as well. So, but, it bothers me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. And, but he did do a lot of people dirty. It's funny. And I know a lot of inside stuff, what he did with A-Light, we did with Scars, we did with Calandra, and it's just dirty. Sammy uses everybody, but there's always three sides to a story. That's for sure. But you find common ground. You'll find the truth in the middle, and it's funny how everybody has a similar story about Sammy. That's not a coincidence, folks. So.
EB23, why did La Cosa Nostra never become well known in a big state like California? Your opinion?
In California, there's presence out there, but it's basically New York City's known for, Cosa Nostra. Same thing as Chicago, Boston. California, I can't answer, but there is a presence out there, that's for sure.
Dom, do you think they only put out Ruggiano Jr.'s episode because everyone saw how he messed up with you? Although, also, I thought it was funny. Sammy said he loved DB, even though Sammy killed DB.
That's just Sammy double talking. But yes, I definitely think it was to fuck with me. That's why he let. And Sammy didn't put it out on his channel. He gave it to Ruggiano to put out. So I know that's basically a dig at me. And I just look at the numbers, especially the views, which he got astronomical, like just unheard of views for his channel. So that just leads me to believe where it is. But that's all irrelevant. At the end of the day, fuck Sammy and fuck his channel. Actually, fuck YouTube. So.
Hey, Dom, did you ever have any dealings with Serenos? And La...
Serenos, I don't know.
And La... I don't know, it's EME.
Where is that?
Right there. In the joint. La Ima?
Miami.
Lama?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No. Probably, yeah. Serenos, thank you.
Yes.
That's a Mexican gang. Carrie, I think you better get better glasses. Oh, my God.
Well, that's hard. That's hard.
And don't read it.
Yeah. It's you know what? He's Jewish, and I would love to hear.
Oh, my God.
I would love to hear so many people pronounce Jewish last names or German last names, right? So it depends what gender,
There you go.
where you're
Thanks.
from.
Bring the religion into it.
There we go.
Bring religion into
Behind.
it. There you go. It's Shabbat tonight anyway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, goodness. Okay, Tony just gave a donation.
Thank
Cheers
you,
to
Tony.
you. Tony from Sweden in the house. Good show as usual on talk. Who was the worst of Vinny or Gaspipe? Who was the worst, Vinny or Gaspipe? Or about equal?
I think Gaspipe by far, because Gaspipe had no remorse. I think that's a bad word, remorse. He had no value for life. He didn't care. Where Vinny did value, Vinny thought before he would kill somebody, he was like, Dom, I think about things because of, it's not the person we're killing, it's their families. That's where he had empathy. But if you cross Vinny, he felt threatened, just like Frank Santoro that we killed. The guy passed a comment about kidnapping Vinny's son, and Vinny was adamant, I'm killing this motherfucker because I'm going to make this a precedent. Everybody will know in the neighborhood. Never pass that comment. Don't even think about that thought. If you do, I'll kill you. So Vinny was dangerous in his own right.
So Xavier James again says, well, not again, but says, tell that to Mikey Scars, because Mikey Scars claims he knew everything and he wasn't straightened out until 88, basically 89. And he says they told him everything.
I can't speak about what he said, especially I don't know what you're talking about, what you're inferencing to. I know what you're inferencing to, but I don't know the details from each one. But I could tell you this, from sitting with Mike, he has no reason to lie. He keeps things on board. He keeps things straight. And he was a powerful capo in the Gambinos. That can't take that away from him. He didn't get there. Ruggiano was never a made member. That's the difference, folks. So you have a guy, listen, I was privy to a lot of things that went on before I was straightened out. But I got straightened out. I became an acting captain, an official captain. So I had that quality. Ruggiano, and I never met him, but he was known as a drug addict. They're not going to be telling things to a drug addict. You didn't hear Mikey Scars was a drug addict. He was a guy, he got straightened out. like myself. So I tend to believe Mike's. He has no reason to lie, and he does have a lot of information, I'm sure. And he'll be releasing things as he feels fit. But I like his character. I like the way he stands. And it's not about money for him. It's about just being out there. Let's keep things for real. And if you're going to say something, don't try to rewrite history. So you could talk about it, but don't rewrite it that it benefits you. That's what Sammy tries to do.
Dom, who's the funniest guy you know?
The funniest guy I know. Carrie's laughing. Oh, you think so? Oh, yeah, you have to hear Carrie, though, sometimes. In the past life, I would say Bruno by far.
Mr. Bobby 781, Dom, did you know Tony D or Jimmy Calabrese?
Jimmy Calabrese, no. Tony D, I'm not sure. But Jimmy, no. Who'd you say? Jimmy Calabrese? No.
Dom, how does EG vodka taste with Gatorade Frost?
Excellent. Listen, Carrie's laughing, but Carrie knows every time I go out, I'll even drink it straight. I mean, it's that smooth. Hands down. There's people at the bar, I'll see they'll order Tito's. I'm like, wait, try this vodka. I got it. Bartender will chill it up. They're like, oh my God, where can I buy a bottle? That's how good it is. So hands down, folks, order it. Go online, egvodka.com.
The Frost, either the regular EG vodka or the rosemary lavender would be a good one.
Yeah.
I would choose that.
I mean, even the flavors are good, and they're all organic. Anything else?
Ever had any dealings or met any Mexican mafia guys or some LA family guys?
Yes, only in prison, not outside of prison. Actually, there's one Mexican mafia guy Cricket, and I apologize. I have to get in touch with you, reach out. I know you DM me, and I haven't. I actually lost it in my DM. So, but I'll go through it. I'll find it, and I'll be hitting you up definitely. But not on the street. No, just in prison. Anything else?
Off topic, Cucamonga says, hey Dom, off topic. Were you in New York City when the Twin Towers were attacked, and how did the mob react?
Yes, I was. I was actually, my daughter's mother worked at the Mercantile Exchange. I was pregnant at the time, like 4 or 5 months pregnant. I dropped her off down there. And I was going to take the tunnel. I was doing the Hunts Point Meat Market, doing all the tile work down there. And I was going to go back through the FDR Drive, but there was an accident. So instead, I took the West Side Highway. As soon as I got onto the ramp, she called me. I'm like, everything okay? She said, a plane just hit the World Trade Center. They're evacuating our building. I said, you want me to come back? She said, no. It's just everybody was nonchalant about it, that it was an accident. But by the time I got back to Hunts Point, everybody was on the roof. We went up to the roof. I was listening to 1010s. And at this point, they were talking about, they didn't know it was terrorist attack at this time. And all of a sudden, we saw the second plane hit into the second tower. And then all of a sudden, we started hearing terrorists. Then I tried, Vinny and I called him up. We had my cousin had a speedboat, went to the harbor, got on the boat, going down there by boat, and they had the whole harbor, everything shut down. Nobody could get down there. And it took my daughter's mother 8 hours to get home from the city. That's how, I mean, the chaos down there was just ridiculous. And that was a sad day.
Tom Palmieri, Dom, any difference between Bronx and Brooklyn Italians?
The only difference I found between us were in prison. I got along with everybody, being from the Bronx, because mostly Bronx guys are drug dealers, knockaround guys come from Harlem. So we integrate with Hispanic and blacks, where guys from Brooklyn, they more racist, they don't like blacks. And I'd be playing basketball, come off the basketball court, and they would be like, what are you doing? I said, I'm playing ball. These are the other Italians. You can't play ball with them. What do you mean I can't? With who? With the blacks. I said, why not? Because we're not supposed to be integrating or socializing like that. And trust me, it was Tommy Red. And I said, Tommy, listen to me. Don't tell me what to fucking do. Mind your business and go about your business. And he looked at me like, you know. And at that time, I had size on me, and I would tear him up. And that was it. I didn't want to hear it. So, but you know, that's the only difference I found with some of the guys from Brooklyn.
DL, how did Bruno go from being on the Galante hit to being on Joey Massino's hit list with 3 captains?
I don't know. I think just Joe Massino, that was his power move. Like John Gotti's power move was to take out Paul Castellano. That was Joe Massino's power move. Joe saw them as a formidable opponent to take over, to make a move on the crime family, to gain power. And Joe outwitted them. I got to give him props for that. That was a smart move. And but he did take out 3 men. I mean, that could have been, they were powerhouses in the Bonanno crime family.
Dom, do you know any of the Meg guys rigging fight matches or sporting events?
No, I don't know, but I heard a lot of stories back in the day as far as basketball games. I heard of stories where they got baseball players ossified drunk, out at strip clubs all night and then loaded up on bets the next day. So, against the team. So, that's all. But no, personally, no, I don't.
I'll ask Dom, I lost it. Dom, nope, I lost it. He lived something on Bath. Dom, I lived down the block from Spiro's Club on Bath Avenue. Did you ever go there and talk with him?
No, I didn't. Spiro's before my time, and then he went away, so I never met him in jail either. But no, I heard he was a great, great guy.
Pudo says, hey, brother, God bless. North Jersey Italian here. Did you know people from Hoboken?
Hoboken. I knew a lot of people from Jersey. I'm not sure exactly Hoboken. I knew people in the Genovese crime family. There are a lot of people in the Genovese crime family. They're out in Jersey. And then some Bonannos as well.
So Byron says, I got that when I was in the can. A friend is a friend.
Exactly.
Dom, have you heard of a guy named Joey Alamo from East New York?
No, I have not. What crime family? Well, they'll respond.
All right, so James Haynes says, he keeps asking, so he says, I'm just going to Google this Gene Borello kid. IDK, who TF he is.
Well, Gene Borello, I think, comes out on the 21st of this month. I haven't heard from him, so I hope he's not. Usually when I don't hear from him, usually I would hear from Gene every other day. Haven't heard from him in a while, so that leads me to believe he probably did something. He's in segregation. He's going to finish out his days there. But once he gets out, he told me, Dom, I'm coming on the show. We're going to show them what the Bonannos were about. So let's see what happens. And I told him, you don't have to come on my show, so I know you're close with A-Light. He said, no, brother, you're a Bonanno. I respect you. I'm coming on your show. Okay, we'll see. So stay tuned for that one.
Bruzy asks, he says, Dom, please tell us about this Gene Borello kid. Is he fake? If he is, isn't he fake?
No, he's not fake. He's a serious guy. He's somebody that will go. I don't think he won't back down. That's for sure. So sometimes he has to calm down, in my opinion. He's not part of the mafia anymore or the life, and he has to just grow and learn how to accept what he did and live righteous. Otherwise, he'll be back in jail.
All right, so Roy Munson says, I'm sorry if this comes across as insulting. I do not mean to be. But if you shared with us exactly who the kids are, people will be far more quicker to part with their money. Respect to you and your team. I don't know what.
Okay, with the kids, if you're talking about helping, donating, we will. I'm still waiting on the 501c to be formed. We're going to do videos showing, going there, helping the kids. So even if you have, I want to do basically church groups, find out who really needs it. And once that's set up, that the funds are in the account, then we'll be acting, we'll be videoing it, showing where all the funds go. to do the right thing. It's not much money. I'm probably going to be coming out of my pocket to match it. Not probably, I will be. And just to help out, whether they need sneakers, clothes, food, just little things. We take little steps, and hopefully we could build some momentum to do better and bigger things.
Mike Silvestri, hey Dom, much respect, brother. Loyal follower here, grew up in Corona and around the life and relate to the type of man you are. Mannerisms and the way you speak reminds me of the people I grew up around.
Thank you. That's greatly appreciated, especially for your kind words. And like I always said, I try to do my best. Sometimes you'll see me aggravated, like with the Sammy Gravano stories, but that's just out of frustration. It's out of more or less being hurt. Especially when I bring somebody in or I look to do something with somebody, I give my all. I'll do anything for anybody. And if you look at it, it's not a big thing. All Sammy had to do was be honest with me. When somebody tries to make a fuck out of me and abuse me in that sense, and this was minor, it was nothing. But that just shows how petty this man is. So I apologize for people seeing my frustrations, but at the end of the day, can't please everybody in life. I know that. But you know what? I try my best in everything I do.
So, Dom, did you ever hear or meet a guy named Frankie Pasqua? He's from the Bronx. He's friends with Gene Borello. He flipped on the Lucchese's.
I only heard of him with the homicide that he was involved with of Michael Melnish. I never met him in person. Gene had told me a lot about him, said I would love him, but he's also quick-tempered, will not back down. He'll fight King Kong. So no, I never met him, but I heard some good things about him. But, you know, not everybody always gets along. So some people might hate him, some people might like him, just like myself included. But one day, if I get the opportunity to sit down with him and meet him, I'll judge for myself. But not everybody gets along in life.
Hey, Dom, Lincoln or Cadillac?
Oh, that's a good one. Back in the day, let's see. I loved the Lincoln Mark. I think it was the Mark 6. It looked like a shark. It was long. And then the Cadillac, I would say the Eldorado. That was like the car back in the day. And then after that, the Seville with the slant back. That was also sharp. Those were the three picks. Carrie?
Hey, Dom, with your size, can you dunk the basketball?
Can I dunk the basketball? No, I used to when I was...
Men can dunk, he says.
Huh?
He says white men can dunk.
Okay. Yeah, if it's a Nerf and it's about 6 foot tall, yeah, I could dunk it. No, but I could probably still, I think on a good jump, I would have to loosen up, touch the rim. When I was younger, yes. But now, no way. Anything else?
Roy Munson says, Dom, thanks for the update. I appreciate it. I'm not putting you on the spot. Much respect.
Thank you. Please. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate it. How many we have?
444.
Okay, so we're still rocking.
Dom, are you aware that Joe Messino and Mikey Featherstone live in Florida, too? Imagine you pulling up alongside Big Joe.
No, I heard a lot about that, but if you know where he lives, please DM me, because I will definitely go there. And I would love to pull up on Joe. I would love to talk to him. You know, but Joe, if you're watching, DM me, hit me up. I would definitely love to pick his brain. Just ask him why. Well, I don't have to ask him why. I know why he cooperated. But I would definitely love it, just to hear stories from him, to hear his reasoning on certain things. And his knowledge. He was a powerhouse in his own right.
Bronx Bull, any stories on the Silver Edge Bar on Tremont?
Silver Edge Bar. No. Was there any other name for it? Or was it the bar across from Frenchie's, diagonal? Away from, it went down from the, I think the Bronx River Parkway. But across from Frenchie's. Is that the bar you're talking about?
Another donation from Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate
Have you been
it.
fighting the same guy several times? Something like what a bad guy often does.
What was that?
He says, have you been fighting the same guy several times? Something like a bad guy often did. When you can't tolerate each other and it becomes a circus.
Yes, if you're talking about Sammy, it is a circus. It's ridiculous, and to me, it's petty on my end too. But because it's something like really for views, or you need it that bad, it's like wow. But I prefer to know rather sooner than later. So at least I can have more time and energy invested into him, and then he really stuck it up my butt. So to me, it's just it is petty. It's ridiculous, but to each his own.
It's a question from Lee. McDonald's or Burger King?
Well, with Lee, I would go to McDonald's because I know he has the daily coupons he gets. Right, Kerry? Knowing you, that wasn't anybody's question. That was you throwing the dig.
It was the John Puts.
Okay.
See?
Okay. Okay, see, I knew you did something.
I have to Lee's name.
Oh, wait till Lee gets you.
It's okay.
Okay.
He's still driving.
Oh, yeah, he's probably
On the
eating
turbo.
McDonald's.
Salute from Buffalo. And Roy Munson says 67 Chevy Impala is my dream car.
Ah, nice, nice. My wife has a 69 Mustang. It's green, all original. It has, I think, 23,000 original miles on it. Nice, nice car.
Carmine Castellano, the mob literally had some of the ugliest cars.
Yeah, I would say that. But, it is what it is. What can you do?
El Guapo. Dom, did you know of a pro heavyweight boxer named Bobby Halpern from the East Bronx?
Yes, that's Bobby Hartburn, I'm pretty sure, Bobby Hartburn. That's the guy that Vic and Gaspipe, they shotgunned while he was trying on a sports jacket, and he wound up living. That's how big he was. And their statement to Oscar was, well, at least he has his jacket on that they're going to be burying him in. But with that, guy wound up surviving. But he looked tough. He looked real tough.
Silver Edge was across the street from Tommy's Pizza.
Okay, no. That was right by Ruffles, right? There was a bar there, Ruffles, that used to be topless on East Tremont in the Bronx, in the Throg's Neck section. And that was, I'm going back, I remember I had the fake ID. At the time, drinking age was 18, and I think I was 15, turning 16. We went down to Hunts Point on 42nd Street, and I got the fake ID, college ID, and it worked. And it just so happened, so it was, I think, 2 or 3 years ahead of my age. So when I turned 18 legitimately, my ID was good that I was 21. And as soon as I turned 18, they changed it to 21. So I had to use that ID for 3 more years. But Ruffles at that time was topless.
Don Ju asked, do you like golf?
I love watching it, especially when Tiger Woods was playing. I do go to Top Golf every once in a while, try to get my swing on, and I would love it. I hear that's where major deals get completed on the golf course. So, yes, I would love to really engage with that sport.
Another donation from FL2396.
Thank you, FL. It's greatly appreciated.
Hey, Dom, from your experience, how were the 5 families collectively and individually viewed by non-Italian criminal groups with regards to their street rep?
I would say in my neighborhood, the Luccheses were a joke, so they weren't respected. The Colombos, they tried making a move on Dennis DeLucia, the Albanians. Vinny, myself, we put a stop to that, where even the Albanians said, whoa, aren't they Colombos? And Vinny was like, that's my brother. And so did I, that's my brother. So don't even think you're making a move on him because we got his back. Gambinos, they had respect for, of course, us. They had respect for. They knew we were strong. And so same with the Genovese. So, every family is different in different areas. But I could tell you in the Bronx, it was Genovese, Gambinos, and Bonanos that there was a lot of respect for.
Jesus, Dom, did you ever meet Joe Messino? And is Vinny a good person or a bit of a psycho? I mean, he killed 12 people.
Yes. As far as Joe Messino, no, not personally. We've seen each other. No interaction. Vinny, he's a great person, even till this day. And this is a guy who I know will take me out in a heartbeat. Might wait a while, but that's just his caliber, and I can't blame him. But till this day, it's weird. I still care for him, and great guy to be around, funny. I was just blinded by a lot of things that went on. I believed in him so much, and then saw his true colors when we were arrested. It was all about him and his family, and it hurt. It hurt till this day. But great guy. He valued life, but if you crossed him, he's taking you out, without a doubt.
Dom, who was behind the Galante contract, or was it a commission decision as a whole? The reason behind this was because he wouldn't share his H profits, right? Any interactions with the Philly guys?
No, from what I was told, it was from Rusty, the boss at the time, because he was trying to take over the Bonanno crime family. I had never heard about him sharing profits, but I could tell you one thing. I heard stories about him in jail, where people are waiting on the handball court to go on next. He would just buck. Like after the game, he would jump on the court. This is my court. And people left him alone, but I heard he was tough in his own right. He didn't take shit from anybody.
Rob from Florida. Hey, Dom, what's your favorite City Island restaurant?
Oh, City Island. Back in the day, I used to like Lido's. I don't think it's there. It was a catering hall down towards the end. And there was a new one that the Albanians had on the front part of City Island. I forgot the name of it. It's on the right-hand side when you go into City Island. I would say that one recently was the best before I got locked up.
Corner right on the water made the best pina coladas.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, the best.
My wife's the best.
Rum with a little bit of pina colada. And then we'd go horseback riding after that. Dom, how about that 85 Lincoln Town Car? Presidential series, same as Paul Castellano's car.
85 Lincoln Town Car. Yeah, those were nice, but still my choice would have been the two-door Mark 7, Mark 6. I think those cars were beautiful.
Dom, how did your people react to The Sopranos when it was out? It was without doubt the biggest TV show when you were on top of your game. Oh, it keeps moving. In the mob. I know it takes creative liberty, but were you aware?
Yes, a lot of people in the mob said they didn't watch it, but they did. It was I liked it, very entertaining. A lot of truths about the show, their series. Some things didn't make sense, but most of it did. It was well written, good cast of characters, good reenactment of the life, and I enjoyed it. But you had a lot of guys in the life. Oh, I don't watch that shit. Meanwhile, they watched it. How can you not look at it? And once you do look at it, it captures you. So I enjoyed it.
Kate Walker, did you hang out on Bath Avenue like the rest of the mobsters?
No, I went out there one time. There was something where I had to meet, I think it was Skinny Dom. Pretty sure Skinny Dom. Something with the feast that came into our neighborhood. The guy's trying to rob us. And I went there. I think I had words with somebody. And then somebody right away pulled him up and said, yo, that's Sicali from the Bronx. Don't fuck with him. You guys will have a problem. And they backed up, and I had to see who I went to go meet out there. And, we wound up settling everything. But that was one of the only times I was out there. Or maybe twice for that incident.
Donation from Sly Guy,
Thank you, Sly Guy. It's greatly appreciated.
but no comment.
That's all right, but thank you for the donation.
Did anyone read who was behind the Galante contract, or was the
Yes,
commission?
I did that. Hey, Dom, I saw the 3-part series with Anthony and Sammy. It was interesting. Anthony mentioned in several occasions how good Gotti was to him. Also, I can't find E.G. vodka in any Chicago bars.
You're not going to find it in any Chicago bars. That's not one of our territories yet. Right now, we're building up Florida. We're out in LA, and we're out in Arizona. We're working on New Jersey and New York. So you can order it online. I'm not sure if we deliver it to Chicago, But under the new contract, I think Chicago is one of the cities we can deliver it. So just stay tuned. I'll let everybody know once the contract's signed, and we'll have a list of states we'll deliver to.
Hey, Dom, what motivated you to start doing a podcast? Was it an individual that influenced you?
Yes. It was people talking bullshit about the Bronx and putting out false stories about Vinny. And I just wanted to set it straight, the life, and I just felt it was time to come out and just talk about the Bronx, things that happened, how we really were. Not these fabricated stories that people want to try to ride somebody's coattails and act bigger than what they are. We're planting flags all over the Bronx, which was bullshit. And I want to call people out and just talk about the truth. So that's what made me come out.
Dom, what does your wife think of Vinny? Would you meet him? How do you feel about the mafia?
My wife doesn't know Vinny, but I tell her all the time. If she ever met him, she would love him, his personality. He had charisma, a lot of charisma and charm. He was just funny bastard. I mean, witty. And like I said, everybody knows the sky's blue. If Vinny wants to tell you the sky is orange, he'll give you more analogies, and at the end of his analogies, you'll believe the sky is orange when it's really blue. But he was just funny in his own right.
David Petrucci, Dom, so when you're in Connecticut, hit me up for golf.
Okay.
LOL, I'm still learning and will even drive the cart. Drinks on the house.
No, I want to drive the cart. And drinks, as long as it's EG, we're good to go. You got it. Anything else? Let's take three more, and then, okay. Don't all speak at once. I know. Oh, that's what happens. Gary, you know. Well, that's from all the girls you were with. Stop, Carrie. Carrie came in stumbling. He's still hungover from yesterday.
That was 2 days ago.
Oh, 2 days ago.
Thank you. All right, I can't anymore.
All right.
Munson, Dom, do you speak Spanish? Your woman is Latina, right? I had to learn Sicilian to understand my wife when she lost the plot with me.
No, I don't speak, but I'll pick up.
I didn't finish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At least now I know when I'm an asshole for not finishing her dinner. Oh, the plate he made. It was a typo.
No, I don't know Spanish, so, but I know when she's talking about me.
English.
Correct.
There you go.
Spanglish.
One more. Let's do one more, and that's it.
All right. I'm bad at English. I have a translator. What I mean, have you been in the street fights with the same guy? You know, when you can't tolerate each other, when you run each other out of a restaurant. That's Tony again.
Okay.
So basically, he's asking if you ever had like a feud with somebody specifically that you kept fighting with that guy.
No, usually all my fights were one time, and that was it. Never
This
reoccurring.
month.
No, they're talking about street fights, not all going back and forth.
Got it.
Any good stories related to the late 90s Yankee team? I just lost. Oh, or stories revolving around the stadium.
No.
And
good
that's from Trent Acosta.
Yeah, no good stories about the Yankees. The only thing they were always the Bronx Bombers, so gotta give them credit for that. With that, everybody, I want to thank everybody for the show of love and support. Remember, go to egvodka.com. You can order it. Soon we'll be in 44 states to deliver. Themanshot.com. Get your erectile dysfunction. Again, we had over 300 views going onto the website. People logging in. Everything's confidential. I don't know the names of anybody, but you deal directly with the doctor, his facility. It'll be shipped out. Well, I'm going to see if we could do a program where samples are sent out. So I have to get with him, see if we could offer something. So people could just try it. And then once you try it, you'll feel that vibrant, that youthfulness back into your sex life, which is great. Also, go to alwayslit.com, get your hand-rolled cigars. We're coming out with the three Capo cigars. But go to alwayslit.com, get your hand-rolled cigars, and go to mafiaroundtable.com. Order your syndicate proteins. We have protein powders, creatines, all different types of fat burners, stuff for joint pain. So that's right, we're getting involved in everything, and that's just it. So you'll see me on infomercials we're going to be doing about everything, all the products. And that's for people out there. Everything we do is quality, folks. So, and we're putting it out there. We're giving discounted subscription rates, so go in. It's not about the money, so we're going to help people out who really struggle and who needs these items. And we're going to look out for our subscribers. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Wish everybody the very best. And stay tuned for next week's show. Everybody have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Peace out. Much love.